what the heck is the point in making a lot of money, investing it away, and ultimately building a legacy for yourself? So recently, I just got into an argument with a film director friend of mine, right? And he made the case that he will feel successful when he leaves a legacy on the future of filmmakers. That was like his North Star. That's where he wanted to be. And while I understand the sentiment, I disagree with how he defines success and would argue that focusing your actions toward a future legacy that you may not even see come to light actually imprisons you and steals your joy for the moment. And I believe that happiness more comes from being content in the moment and not needing anything to change in order to feel full. It's internal rather than external, right? So now, like, you may argue watching this that success to me isn't about happiness, and I'd rather have legacy for my family and like the people around me, like, you know, have rich and wealth for generations to come. While that's an admirable goal, it's self-sacrificing your own happiness in the moment for a potential future that, again, may or may not ever even happen. Now, while I do believe a certain level of sacrifice is required to accomplish things in life, like you can't always be reaching for the cookies when the dessert tray comes out because, you know, that'll make you happy in the moment, right? But you've got to ask, like, okay, where do you draw the line, right? So take someone like Vincent van Gogh, who lived his entire life producing great work, like the best work of his time, but he was never recognized during his time. And ultimately, he lived a life of just like complete misery and despair, only to die penniless and alone. It's like, great life, Vincent. Great job. You know, it was only after his death that he was portrayed as like the greatest painter to have ever lived. And some people that I've met, like my film director friend, actually hold the belief that in order to be great, you have to endure suffering. Or like to create great art, you have to live a life of suffering. So then these people go out and begin making life decisions that ultimately make them suffer. You know, but I question whether Van Gogh's legacy is actually meaningful to him, given that he never actually experienced it. And it's irrational, in my opinion, to sacrifice joy today for a reward that you'll never see. But maybe you disagree with me. You know, would you be willing to endure a life similar to Van Gogh if it meant the same fate? You know, like being recognized only after you died? You know, seriously, like pause the video and ponder this question, then come back and press play. Okay? If the answer is no, and you want to be recognized in your lifetime, then sorry, but it's really more ego than anything that's motivating you. And we pretty much know at this point, living a life driven by ego, while it can bring success, you know, monetary success, it's not very conducive to a life of happiness, right? And so if you answered like, yes, I am willing to endure and sacrifice this life in order to have a similar legacy to Van Gogh, then I would posit another question to you. How long do you think that legacy is going to last? And this is really like the crux of the video and like the core argument here, okay? 10 years is going to pass. Then 100 years is going to pass. Then 1,000 years is going to pass. Then there's nothing to leave behind because there is nothing anymore. You know, we're all going to be gone eventually. And even if you think about just like the last few thousand years, you know, there's been entire civilizations that have come and gone. For example, like take the Sumerians. You know, I'm sure that they were very important people and they did great things, but like go ahead and name me a single Sumerian. You know, tell me anything interesting or important Sumerians did that lasted. Nothing. You know, maybe 1,000 years or 10,000 years from now or 100,000 years from now, people will say like, oh yeah, like Americans. I've heard of Americans, right? And so it's the same way with you watching this video. You know, the household names of our time, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they will also be forgotten. You know, our children will be gone. Our works will be dust. Our civilizations will be dust. Our planet will be dust. Our solar system will be dust. And in the grand scheme of things, the universe has been around for 10 billion years, and it's going to be around for another 10 billion years. That's just a fact, right? You're going to die one day, and none of this is really going to matter. Just acknowledge it. Acknowledge what you are doing is kind of silly and pointless, right? Which sounds a little depressing, but I promise it's not. And that's not why I'm making this video. I just think knowing that brought a lot of happiness and peace to me, because I recognize that this is all just kind of a game, but it's a fun game, right? So the title of this video is like, what's the point? And so in my view, like, here's the point. All that matters is that you experience your reality as you go through life. So why not interpret that reality in the most positive way possible? Enjoy yourself, do something positive, project some love, make someone happy, laugh a little bit, appreciate the moment, and do your work. I define success by happiness. So whatever happens in the future, as long as I'm engaged in something that, fulfills me, makes me happy, and the people around me are good, then I'm good. I don't need anything else than that. So let me know your thoughts on this, guys. A bit of a weird, different video, but just kind of had to get this off my chest after that argument. Here is my Instagram if you want to send me your thoughts, and I'll text you back.
We're here in Switzerland.